Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's the Hey Girl Hey podcast on Urban Media today. It is time for fan mail.
That's the thing.
She done took a sip now. Usually we dance when the fan mail, when I say fan
Yeah, I had to take a sip.
I know it's still a new feature. If you have something that you'd like for us to read on the show, please feel free to email us at the Hey Girl Hey podcast at gmail.com. Ladies, y'all got the email, right? Did you get the email? LaShawn.
I did. I just got it.
Not I just got it. I love her.
And I'm looking at it like, oh my.
Let's see what Beth has to say. Here's the first email said is
interesting.
My coworker tried it. Portia, we might relate to this one. I don't know what to do. My coworker, who is Hispanic, constantly says my ninja, but you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Right. My ninja when talking to other coworkers. He never says it to me or even when I'm around, but I can hear him, and every time I'm enraged. It's easy to say to report him to the supervisor, but I can't because I know how hard it is to get a job these days, and he's not a bad person. She said bad person. I don't know him personally, so would it make sense to say to him if he can stop, ask him if he can stop? It doesn't seem to bother anyone else, and maybe it's a problem for me. Why is this acceptable? It sounds silly, but I'm heated. I walk away most times and make sounds as if to let them know it bothers me, but nothing happens. What do I do?
I think this is real interesting, this one right here. And the reason why I'd say it's interesting is because this is a word that's being said on your job. It's not with friends. And although people think since you spend a lot of time with people that you work with, that they are your friends, but you do spend a lot of time with, but it's a job situation. If you're uncomfortable with this kind of speech on your job, it needs to be said to somebody. You don't need to hear that. If you don't like this kind of talking outside of your job, you tell the person in that situation as well. So this is something that it's not because jobs are so hard to find. If it was that hard to find, that person would feel the same way and not use that kind of language on the job. So no, it's not cool. It's not cool, but it's a conversation that needs to be had because obviously this person is using it as a terms of endearment, as we of color often do. So if it's something you feel uncomfortable with, say it. In this climate, I think everything in this climate deserves a conversation. At least a conversation, because some people really don't understand or they really don't get it. So there has to be a conversation.
Jerry, Portia?
I agree. At the workplace, like, no. I mean, you can't control what someone says out their mouth, but it should be like out of a respect thing and out of professionalism. You just shouldn't say it, especially if there's other African Americans around who may not like that word or like being called it or just in general. And a conversation should definitely be had, like just pull the person to the side and just respectfully just say, hey, I don't like you, saying that word around like me or like in the workplace. It just makes you feel uncomfortable, and all that other stuff. So I agree with what LaShawn said, like it shouldn't be said anyways, but you can't control what people say. But in a professional setting, like your work, then yeah, I would definitely have a conversation about it.
Portia?
Whenever
we know about this one.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. It just bothers me when other people who are not people of color are around and how uncomfortable it's at. That's when it bothers me. But it doesn't. It does. It's cringeworthy at times because it just depends on who it is. Like we've had coworkers, who really never use that word. That's not even in their wordplay at all. Not even interested in being it. And I can see the discomfort on them. But at the end of the day, when you're working in a predominantly Black environment or a predominantly urban environment, it's kind of hard to kind of like separate street time from professionalism sometimes. And sometimes they intermingle because I'm very multi-talented with being street and professional in the same sentence. But it's not something it's something that I'm aware of whenever I say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the conversation that could be had if you do feel uncomfortable with it, because everybody isn't comfortable with it. I'm like Jerry said, there's a lot of people who are uncomfortable with it. I mean, it's the conversation. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Beth? Or you want to stay out of this one?
Oh no. I would perhaps out of courtesy speak to this person.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here, go ahead, Beth.
An hour later, I would be going to the supervisor and saying, I am uncomfortable. This language should not be permitted in the workspace. And if you don't do something about it, I'll file a complaint against you. Because
you know what you just did, Beth.
What'd I do?
You know you just Karen somebody. You know,
Beth.
You know I love you, Beth. You know
she's
that.
so sweet. She's so
love
sweet.
her. She don't care. She's just like, listen, don't cuss around me. Don't say it around me. Don't say it around me.
You can't let that can emerge into a terribly hostile workplace.
Yeah.
If we're not happy. First of all, it should never be tolerated in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
So,
do you think that maybe, and this is not me being the code cracker, usually LaShawn's the code cracker. I'm going to play code cracker today. You think that maybe it's because the coworker who's using the derogatory is Hispanic?
That the offended party would be hesitant because of that?
Mm-hmm. No, do you think the reason why she's upset is because of the person who is using?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if it was an African American, it would be okay.
Right, which is not.
Right?
It's not
and
okay.
I'm saying it's not all right at all. Period.
Not at
all.
Right.
Yep.
You're out on a smoke break. Have at it. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the workplace. No
Right.
way. It doesn't belong there. And that's what I would. No.
I think that's very unprofessional. And
I
if
didn't
there's
realize. Yeah, I didn't realize. I'm sorry.
if that's something that they want to do in front of everybody at work, then I would confront them in front of everybody at work as well. And so that's something I do not like, and I do not want to hear. Not here where I work, not my workplace.
Right.
I don't, because when you allow people to have that freedom, other people would think they can have that freedom as well.
Yeah,
that is not right. And then you'll start calling every race out of their name, and it's not cool. Yeah. My cousin was out at Monroeville the other week, and these guys drove past, and they said, "Hey, N-word," and called her out. Well, they thought they were calling her out, and there were 3 white women in line with her, and they said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She said, "Why are you apologizing for them?" Because they weren't talking to me. Mm-hmm. And the ladies were like, "Oh," she said, they called out a nigger. That's not me, honey. Mm-hmm. She said, so, and they were like, well,
she made it. She gave it. She lessened the power.
Yeah. She gave it back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She was like, "Oh snap, who they talking to?"
Right.
Oh,
that's what that's exactly what she did.
I like the fact that those that were standing in line apologized. I thought that was, because I would do the same thing. It's like, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I didn't mean that. Because you represent your community. You know what I mean? You do.
Right. But hold on, was she the only black person in line though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well then,
and the ladies, the ladies, they were very apologetic. Yeah, well, they were very apologetic for the people that said they didn't say it. But after she had further conversation with some of the ladies in line, and one lady said, "Wow, you're super cool." She said, "I know." She said, "We'll probably be somebody that would hang out together." And she was like, "Yeah." She said, "So that word they're not talking about me." Right. So I'm not going to retaliate because that's not my name.
Exactly.
Right. You're right. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But it showed those white women were getting sensitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, in another situation, we might call it their bias was showing. Mm-hmm. But this was trying to sue something that they perceived to be unpleasant.
Right.
At least they're aware.
It was uncomfortable. Yeah.
So here's one. We have close to maybe about 6 minutes. Here's another one. I really like my neighbor. She's an older woman, like older. She might have old ears like us, LaShawn.
That's what Jerry calls them.
Right.
Old
she
ears.
says we have old ears. like somebody's grandma, but she's really sexy. I see her from time to time getting her mail in her robe, and she smiles at me. I don't say anything to her because I feel weird. I'm in my 30s and she's possibly in her late 60s. Okay, this lady looks good. I watch her sometimes as she leaves out for whatever, and she's so dope. I want to approach her, but I feel weird. I've always liked older women, but she's much older. Nothing freaky, but I love to shoot my shot. But I'm nervous. I'm nervous she'll embarrass me, and I couldn't deal with that. Any advice for a brother?
Shoot
your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Your shot.
Hey,
Stella got to get her
Portia.
groove back. Shoot, she probably a widow. Her kids in college. She need her.
Kids is out of school with their own families. They be on college
need
now
somebody to
this
clean them
morning.
gutters out.
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Parker.
Hey, Miss
That's
Parker.
Miss Parker. Yeah. Why do you think she comes outside with her house coat on, dude?
Miss
Yes.
Beth, any comment?
Bending snap.
Beth? Beth is blushing.
We got a stalker growing here, I
That's
think.
what I thought. I was like, he's really watching her a lot.
Yeah,
I
that's
watched
a
her
little
when
bit
she got
on-
out the Uber. I
Wait.
watched her when she was getting her bread at the store.
Beth said, wait a minute, antennas up, lady.
Yeah,
You
she didn't
stalker.
look at it that way. She put her police cap on like, wait a minute. You're a stalker.
Be watching that lad.
What's that address so we can
Hey, stop.
Yeah, that's a
so we
control
need
board.
to tell Miss Parker to be careful or
Yeah.
tell this guy to shoot a
Yeah.
shot. I think he should shoot a shot.
I think
I don't
probably
know.
because
She'll probably
Here's-
stun him real quick. Oh, son.
What he's going to learn is it's a different approach to her than any other woman that he has tried to approach in his young age. He's not going to be like, yo, not to that one. She's
Mhm.
60. And he's not
So what
going to
is
be
she-
like, he's not going to be like, I'm selling candy bars. Not to that one. She's 60. You're not going to do that one. You're not
What
going to
did
say,
Deion Cole say? Yes, ma'am. He said something.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? Yes, ma'am. And that will probably work for her.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
that's going to work.
She gonna buy
I
you
was
some new
gonna say-
sweaters.
What was the advice that you would give then, LaShawn? Like, what would you give?
How would you advise them?
How would you advise them? Because you made a very
I'ma
valid
take a
point
sip.
just now.
I would definitely tell him because there's a lot of young.
Tell them
I mean, I could just say as a woman of a certain age, and I'm
There
not.
it is.
I'm not even near 60, but I am in my 50s. But I get approached by young guys. Love
Yeah.
me, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh hey, how you doing? And I mean, guys that I could have birthed, you know, and then old
Right.
guys like really like old guys like my friends' dads like
Mhm.
love me.
Mhm.
The
Whoa,
guys my
okay.
age are like always like, you know, I think
Mhm.
they're a little afraid because I could be a little timid. I don't know.
Mhm.
But anyway, I would tell
Mhm.
this young man to approach her. It's not that an older woman doesn't like a younger man. We
They're
do.
flattered by it.
It's flattery. And everybody likes that. Everybody likes to feel like, oh wow, you know, he looked at me. We all need that. It's, you know, that little gratification, you know,
Yeah.
like, and you know, she's not coming outside with her little gown on,
Mhm.
you know, because she could be just dressed at home, but she's not coming out for just no reason. She knows he's looking at her. She's a seasoned woman. She's had 1,000,001
She
looks. She
know.
know what that look is
She
about.
Mhm.
She
She
knows
knows about-
exactly.
She said, "Hey,
Secret levels.
Brian. Hi,
Yes.
Brian.
You know what? She's
Bit.
probably been.
I'm
She's
gonna make
been
you some
watching him.
lunch, Brian."
You
If he's
hungry,
been
baby?
watching her, she's been watching him
Been
since he
watching
was a
him.
little kid.
Oh, Brian, you need to eat more vegetables. We made you. I made some vegetables. Would you like some broccoli,
Yeah.
Brian?
I bet you that young man hasn't had a full meal with a meat, a starch, and a vegetable in so long. I bet you.
Go
I
ahead.
bet
Go
you.
ahead, Brian. Go ahead,
He
Brian.
has-
Let her feed you.
Mm.
The board so
Sunday
long.
dinner.
He hasn't had a Sunday dinner in so long.
Sunday
you know, he's
dinner.
a Friday pizza Xbox dude. You know what I mean? This woman cooks.
Some cooks.
You better go ahead and get with a real
It'll be his
woman.
first time he ever had porridge. You better get you some of that porridge.
Nah,
Don't you say that. She's 60. She probably rides a bike and do. Well, 60 is not old at all.
60 is
my
not
friends
old.
are that.
It is
not
old.
today.
My
Not
mother
that
is
We
65.
ride bikes. We play tennis. We do everything. I mean, I'm not 60. I'll be.
I was about to be like, "What
No,
you saying, sis?"
But my friends are some of my friends are a little older, and
Mhm.
it's hard sometimes to keep up with them. I mean, you guys talk about I'm busy. We do a whole lot more than some of you guys. We're out there. But
y'all be active.
Very
when
active.
she does this,
very.
That's when you know. When you know. It's on the popping.
I can't. So if he's going to step to this woman, he better have his stuff together. He better.
Get it together. Iron your clothes, brush your teeth, clean behind your ears.
Yes.
Make sure you have them clean
You're
underwear
30.
before you step to me, Brian.
Now
I love the chatter chick. Her face was she was so serious. That was great advice right there.
I'm watching Beth the whole time, just laughing in the back. She's just like,
Mrs. Robinson comes to mind.
Exactly.
Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to seduce me? She's like, yes.
Mrs. Robinson, that is. Wasn't that Dustin Hoffman or something?
Miss Robinson need her.
Was that The Graduate? Yeah.
Her graduate, yeah. All right, so we got to stop. Again, if you have any emails, why don't you send them to the Hey Girl Hey Podcast at gmail.com. We're going to take a short break. Our Hey Girl Spotlight is our guest, Miss Beth Pittinger, who is the Executive Director of the Citizens Police Review Board of Pittsburgh. Just recently, the City of Pittsburgh Council approved police overhaul measures. So we're going to break those measures down and get a better understanding. Also ask some questions as to who does the responsibility rely on when it comes to police activity or inactivity or any type of measures? Is it community? Is it like we're going to ask some questions and hopefully Beth can answer them. So it is the Hey Girl Hey Podcast on Urban Media today. Hold on.